Hello there, this is Richard C. De Vera, and I will be discussing what is cellular parts and their functions. Before that, we are going to define what a cell is all about. Cell is the basic structural, functional, and biological unit of all living organisms. There are two types of cells. These are the eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are cells that contains nucleus and organelles and are enclosed by a plasma membrane. They are multicellular organisms that have eukaryotic cells include the protozoa, the fungi, the plants, and animals. And eukaryotic cells contains a variety of structures called organelles which perform various functions within the cell. The first of eukaryotic cells, the first one is the nucleus, the membrane-bound structure that contains the cell's hereditary information and controls the cell's growth and reproductions. The endoplasmic reticulum, there are two kinds of endoplasmic reticulum. The first one is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It's primarily concerned with the synthesis, folding, and modification of proteins, especially those that need to be delivered to different organelles within the cell or secreted from the cell, or it is so-called the quality control. Number two is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Is largely associated with lipid or the fat manufactures and metabolism and steroid production, hormone production. It also has a detoxification function. The Golgi apparatus, it receives biochemical in the bulk flow from the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is the only organelle in the cell that receives, sorts, modifies, concentrates, packs, and dispatches biochemicals for use inside and outside of the cell. The plasma or the cell membrane is the boundary between the cell and the environment. It regulates what enters and exits the cell. The microtubule are involved in mitosis, cell motility, intracellular transport, maintenance of cell shape, and keep organelles in place. The centrosomes is an organelle that is the main place where cell microtubules are organized, organizing the changes to the shape of the cell membrane that allow the membrane to pinch into during cell division. The ribosomes serves as the site of biological protein synthesis. They link together specific amino acids to form polypeptide and they export there to the cytoplasm. The lysosomes are organelles that contain digestive enzymes. They digest excess or worn out organelles, food particles, and engulf viruses or bacteria. Also, they are like the stomach of the cells, which are involved in digestion and waste removal. Cytoplasm is a thick solution that fills each cell and is enclosed by the cell membrane, mainly composed of water, salts, and proteins. A framework of proteins, scaffolds, called the cytoskeleton provides the cytoplasm and the cell with their structure, and they transport dissolved nutrients around the cell and move waste material out of the cell. Mitochondria, referred to as the powerhouse of the cell, they help turn the energy we take from food into energy that the cell can use, and they are calcium storing. The cilia are eyelashes-like structures, microtubules base organelles that project from the surface of the cells and serve both motor and sensory functions. The flagellum is a weight-like structure that acts primarily as an organelle of locomotion in the cells of many living organisms. The microfilaments, they have roles in cell movement, muscle contraction, and cell division. And to make a cell move, one end of the action filament stretches out while the other end pulls itself in tighter. The second type of cell is the prokaryotic cells. There are single cell organisms. simpler and smaller than eukaryotic cells, and lack membrane-bound organelles such as nucleus, for example, bacteria and archaea. The parts of prokaryotic cells, the first one is the capsule. This additional outer covering protects the cell when it is engulfed by other organisms. Um, aside in retaining moistures and helps the cell adhere to surfaces and nutrients. They are source of nutrition when nutrient supply is low in cell. The cell wall is an outer covering that protects the bacterial cell and gives it shape. And the last one is the villi, the hair-like structures on the surface of the cells that attach to other bacterial cells. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and God bless everyone.